Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. Today's project is a lovely box. It's a black box, but it's been heat embossed with Melon Mambo ink, and it's got some extra layering going on the lid. And I'm going to show you how to make it because it's the way it closes is this part slips inside. So I'll show you how to make it. It's very simple, very easy. You need a piece of cardstock that measures 8 by 11 inches, which is 21 by 28 centimetres. Don't worry about writing anything down. As ever, I will always leave a project link in the description bar that will take you directly there. So with your long side at the top, the 11-inch, 28 centimetre mark at the top, you score it at 1.5 inches, 4 3/4 of an inch, 6 1/4, and 9.5 inches. And then you turn it round, and I've just left something on there. I don't know what that is. Glue dot, I think. Turn it round and you score it again at 1.5 inches and 6.5 inches. And I'm sorry, I forgot to give you the metric measurements. 4, 12, 16 and 24, and then 4 and 17. So that's the scoring done. Let me move my scoring tool out of the way. Come along and fold and burnish all of your score lines. And because this is the black cardstock, and our card is dyed all the way through, so it doesn't have white core or anything. So because the dye is all the way through, it makes it even thicker, or feel thicker, and it's certainly stronger. It's 215 GSM, which is £80 is the weight of our cardstock, and all of the cardstock is the same weight. Then, pair of scissors, and with the box, with 2 long horizontal lines, you're going to cut up these 4 score lines here. And just notch into them a little bit. It just gives a slightly neater close if you want to. I seem to be fairly accurate today. There are some days when my cutting is very accurate, other days when it's not. It is beautifully sunny. Well, actually, typically the clouds just come overhead, and I can actually see what I'm doing. So just keep cutting up all of those. And then pop the box to one side because we want to do the heat embossing that's on the lid, and I want to put the lid on before I actually close and build the box. So you need 2 more pieces of cardstock that are the same colour. One is 4 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches, which is 12.5 by 7.5, and the next one is 1/4 of an inch less, half a centimetre less, at 4.5 inches by 2 3/4, which is 12 by 7. So it's the smaller one that we're going to be stamping on. So you need an embossing buddy to start when you're doing any kind of heat embossing. It takes any static and any grease off, and it just means that the Versamark stamp, or the stamped with Versamark image, will only, any embossing powder will only stick into that area. So I've got the So Very Grateful stamp set that I will bring in just a second so you can see it, because it's beautiful. Here we go. And I'm using this corner one, and I'm literally just popping it into the corner, and if I tilt that you can see it's going to stay sticky for a little while, which is fine because I want to stamp the sentiment as well. So I've taken Thank You from the same set, also with a Versamark. And let's get the embossing buddy. Stamp that down there, which again should be able to just about see. And I'm just going to bring in a piece of plain white paper, and I'm going to put Wild Wasabi embossing powder this time on here. So that's my thank you. And hopefully, if I've been clever, that's my beautiful floral pattern. Let me just pop that back into my tub and get rid of all of those. Now I'm going to bring in my heat gun. So if you've got your volume up loud, turn it down a little bit, just while I do this. Oh, it's not stretching across properly. So you just warm it up on your hands for a minute, for a second. And then you need to keep moving the heat gun. I'm holding it up so hopefully you can see. Keep moving it around, otherwise you're going to warp your card and it will suddenly start to go glossy, and that's when you know you've melted the embossing powder. There we go, it's just going now, it's going very slightly paler. I'll do the same over here. There we go. Oh, couldn't turn my gun off then. And that is all beautifully heat embossed. So you can see it's slightly warped a little bit, even though I did move it around. But imagine what it would do if I hadn't moved it. Right. We're going to have dimensionals. We're going to have 6 of them on the top of this one because there is that slight little bit of bend in there. Backing off all of those. And then position it centrally over the top of that black layer there, and that's straightened everything out. We're going to doubly make sure that it is straight with another random handful of these. And then I can bring that in and pop it onto the lid, and I'm going to make this bit with the sticky bit. The mini glue dot, that's going to become my lid. And again, centrally into the middle of everything. And I shall come and do the sentiment in a second, so I want to build this box up. So something like liquid glue or sticky strip would be perfect for putting a box together. I just want to work with a bit of speed for you. And sticky strip hates me, and I don't want to wait for the liquid glue to dry, even though it is fairly quick. So I'm just using snail, but for boxes where you're working with cardstock onto cardstock, definitely a liquid glue or basically some very sticky glue. That's what you want. So I'm going to build the top. So I'm just folding the sides in. So that's the top. So this part here now needs to meet onto here to make the bottom of the box. And fold it around there. And I forgot, oh, do you know what? I forgot to take some bits off. It's this force of habit. We shall pop these sides open, because actually I didn't want to do that. This is a slightly different type box. Aren't I silly? Because this one opens, it tucks inside. How daft. You're meant to cut these bits off, the bits that are going to be on the lid. Oh, how silly. So all this is an adapted box. It's a box that I make regularly, but I've adapted it slightly. I knew something wasn't quite right. There we go. So that's all you do. And now round the corners, because it'll just help it go inside that little bit easier. There we go. So that will now tuck inside. There we go. Slightly different box. It's the same but different. And I've got my word window punch to punch out the sentiment. And then I've got the modern label punch to go round that. To go behind it, I should say. Got these little ends of the edges of the dimensionals, so some on there, onto this part, so I can lift that up. Some onto the back of that, so that lifts up as well. And that is my box with heat embossing detail on the lid, and so that it closes on the inside, not on the outside, as I nearly forgot to do. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the video. Bye.